it's Tree, and this is another video that I did today. Again, it's September 30th. I'm just trying to get watercoloring out of my system before Inktober, and that's basically it. And I did ink these today, and they got all over my hands, so time to prepare to go back into that mode of having ink all over myself. But anyway, this is Anna from Frozen. I'm pretty sure you know her. You've seen her before, but I think I did a picture in the past of her. I don't remember. And I just thought of how I did her in the past. And so I redrew her in a way, but not really because I didn't use the old image as a reference. But I redrew her, and then I started watching Zootopia and did the Zootopia picture. So this was, so after this, I need to paint some more. I have a whole stack of watercolor paintings I need to finish, basically. And over here I did it a bit too dark, so I just kind of added more pigment in places and just kind of scooched that around. So if you're wondering what would happen if you add too much pigment, just like scooch it around with a bunch of water. And it should look fine after you do that, or just wait for it to dry and add another coat. I don't know how many people are familiar with watercolor or not on this channel, so you can also add extra water and just basically scoop it right on your brush and just dab it back in the water and it'll come right off. Watercolor is kind of forgiving in that way. But here's where it dried. It doesn't look too different now, and I'm going in for her face. I just did a simple white skin tone because she's white in the movie, so if I were to draw her with Elsa, though, I'd probably have to make her skin color a different color of white, basically, because Elsa's supposed to be really pale, and Anna's more so like a sunshiny type character. I'm also sorry that I'm talking so quietly. It's kind of late at night and while I'm recording the voiceover for this, so I apologize. This one I did speed up a little bit, otherwise it would have been 15 minutes long instead of almost 8, so it's kind of a bit faster than what I was working on it, but not so much. That doesn't account for all of the drying time. You must wait for your pieces to dry in watercolor if you hadn't have guessed by the water. Or if you're beginning in general. I don't mean to sound rude. Very sorry. But here I'm looking at the reference of Anna to get her correct colors down. So after I painted her face, I went in with some blue for her, like she wears that purple cloak in the movie, and then she still has her blue and black dress on, so I based it off of that, and then I went in and did the black, and the gold on her dress I inked in with my gold not watercolor, but my gold ink, so that's where that comes from. And at first I added way too much pink on her face, so I had to move my drink and then dab it up with that because I got rid of my Q-tips because they were all used up and it wasn't really soaking up any of the paint that I needed it to. So with watercolor you can either dab it with a rag. If you add too much and you need to dab it, you can use, like I said, a rag and then Q-tips, or just a plain napkin will work just fine. Again, I don't know how many people are familiar with watercolors or not, so talking about it probably helps some of you out there. I really don't know. Let me know down below. Do you use watercolor or what do you use if you're an artist? Do you use acrylic? Do you just do digital? I'd be very interested in seeing your artwork too, so let me know. And after that dried with her hair, well, it's still drying, so I go in for her lips, basically, to give it some color there. And then, yeah, this is where I'm going in the purple. I can't see it right now, but I do move the camera, I think. I hope I do. So sorry. Yeah, there we go, it moves. And then I go along the cloak. Here I'm trying to be careful because the blue is still wet. It does kind of mix into the purple, but it's okay. Watercolor is very forgiving, but also because blue and purple are kind of near the same color family, basically. Because you mix blue and red together to get purple, it just kind of blends right in, so it's okay. And here I'm finishing up the cloak after I do the next couple strokes here. Yeah, this is the final bit of the cloak, and then I think I let it dry, and then I went in for the background. So basically I just did a plain blue, and then I trimmed around it, and I didn't show it, but I did earlier glue on some paper to the back of it so that way it's more sturdy. And yeah, I still left the blue edges around her, and so that's why I just did it like this. I didn't know how much edge I needed around her, otherwise I would have just masked that area off and then had it that size in the beginning. And just in general, I tethered all this paper laying around that I had cut out, and so I drew on those, and the videos I've been working on are basically from the papers I've cut out and been working on this week. And then that's the final bit of the blue. And here I'm finally going back in now that it's dry enough to do her little buttons. They're actually heart-shaped. I don't know how many people noticed that or not, but I did have to end up going back over the blue. And here's the sketch, all the finished watercolor when I cut it out, and here's the final picture. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.